Hey, it's Coach Taylor from SmarterTeamTraining.com. I get a chance to go to weight rooms and performance facilities, fitness centers, large and small, all over the country, and if not all over the world for that matter, fairly often. And I'm very lucky to get a chance to see an incredible amount of tools that people are using, and to be honest with you, sometimes not using in their training. And I just as a side note, as a professional kind of tip, I guess, I go through the environments and I kind of take notes at different locations that I'm at, what the brands are using, even the weight selections from the dumbbell to the barbell, and even some of the numbers of things that they have in the racks, or just randomly just kind of go through there. So I really have a good understanding of what people are using. And one common tool that I see in a lot of centers, or a lot of even home gyms, a lot of performance centers, just running the gamut from A to Z kind of thing, are power blocks. And if you don't know what they are, please do me a favor, go to powerblock.com. Basically like a set of dumbbells in one confined maybe 2 foot by 18-inch kind of area. And normally they have some type of pedestal that they're kind of sitting on, sometimes in the weight room with near the squat racks, or sometimes in the aerobic room, or at just different locations. So I reached out to Jay Vollmer from PowerBlock and had a conversation back and forth, to be very fair. And I just said, man, it'd be really cool to talk about a little bit about how you guys evolved from just a standard set of dumbbells across the board and kind of a traditional look to really having something that's really something I can travel with. I mean, I can literally put it in my truck, put it in the car, take it to a practice, take it to a field with me, or even just add space to my own facility. So, Jay, man, it's a pleasure to have you on the phone. I know before we get started here, I'll tell everybody a story. Jay and I actually did this episode a while back, probably a couple of weeks now. It didn't go very well because there was an electrical storm and you did this to cut out and it went back and forth. It just didn't sound great. And so he found time again in his schedule, and not only in his schedule throughout the course of the busy workday, but it's also his birthday. So this guy has done a great job on a Friday evening the first time, and now he's taking time on his birthday to come into work and get on the phone with me. So, Jay, man, I know that speaks volumes about who you are as a person, and I'm looking forward to once again learning from you, my man.
Hi, Coach Taylor. Pleasure to be here. You had to mention a birthday, huh? Boy, that blew up on Facebook today. I was surprised, the power of social media. I went out on Facebook and said next year I'm going to enter the witness protection program. It doesn't forget dates, but at any rate, pleasure to be here. No worries at all. Birthdays or not, we work here at PowerBlock anyway. So, just another day. It's a beautiful day in Minnesota, where we're based out of Owatonna, Minnesota. And we're going on 22 years now of manufacturing space-saving adjustable dumbbells, and we have commercial models also. Those are what you're seeing in the sports-specific training facilities, and a lot of the training facilities set up their workout environment in a what I call a workstations setup or scenario, where they'll have, I give you examples, say Penn State, for example. Penn State has about 40 workstations. They've got a huge room, about 40 workstations in their football room, where at every workout station, they've got I think there's 4 rows of 10 power racks. And then at each power rack, there's a set of power blocks, which gives them access to a full rack of dumbbells, essentially in 2 square feet. And they've got all their bars and bumper plates and at each workstation or power rack. And essentially, they run 3-4 athletes through in the course of their workouts at every workstation. In the training environment or sport-specific training facility type environment, we've become, somewhat popular to our good fortune, based on how some key facilities originally started setting up and doing that philosophy of the workstations setup. And a couple of those facilities that come to mind that actually train a lot of the trainers would be Mark Verstegen's group, now out of Arizona, but they're called Exos now, but the Core Performance and folks, and now Exos, and he's grown to having facilities all over the U.S. and he does a lot of corporate wellness facilities as well. And another, so he actually started in Florida at IMG Academy, and IMG Academies is another huge facility. It's over 300 acres. So they kind of started setting up facilities in this workstations type mode, and it's gone out into a lot of sports specific training facilities, a lot of D1 schools and pro teams, and et cetera. And we've been fortunate enough at PowerBlock to be able to kind of ride that wave and fill a need for the ability to have racks of dumbbells essentially in the space of literally one pair. That's kind of how we got going into that genre of filling needs for dumbbells.
Anybody who's going through the process of developing a product or even a business for that matter, they got to identify a need and then try to figure out a way to provide that need to the public. I mean, how did you guys notice a need for the ability to just condense the dumbbells and make it a little more portable or a little more, we'll call it floor space friendly? And then how did you go about this, walk me through that process of evolving as a design concept and then actually becoming a marketing opportunity and a real live product?
We started in 1991, and the owners of the company at the time worked for Cybex, a famous equipment manufacturer, coincidentally in the same town that we are. And they were developing, at that time, most of the gyms were using like stack type machines. And they developed commercial free weight machines and stations for that company. And so they both were very interested in the fitness industry and literally were working in it, and they both worked out and love fitness. And they would visit a lot of specialty fitness equipment stores, and these retailers would be who would primarily sell the really good stuff, the serious fitness equipment for home use. And they also, a lot of the specialty stores sell commercial equipment also. But essentially, as they would travel to all these stores, visiting the stores, the one constant that they seen was mountains of dumbbells. And back then it was primarily hex heads. You would have different brands, of course, of machines and weight stack machines and, different types of machines, but the one constant they seen was mountains and mountains of dumbbells. So Carl, envisioned, he just seeing that constant thought, God, there's just, that takes up so much space. There's got to be a better way to do that. And he started, thinking about design, and we've got a library with our museum of just all kinds of iterations of, how can we do a dumbbell that is like a weight stack machine, but it's still a dumbbell, And when you think about it, if you look at a power block, that's kind of what it is it's kind of too many weight stacks. It's too many weight stack machines with a handle. And the set has a certain weight range, for example, say 5 to 90 pounds per hand. And you use a selector pin, kind of like a weight stack machine at a gym, to choose the weight that you want within that weight range of the 5 to 90 pounds. So you take the selector pin out, you put it under the weight selection of the weight that you want, and all of the different models, we have several models and weight ranges, but they all have like a weight chart on the handle, and it's color coded. So green will say 50. And you can look, and then you'll take the selector pin, put it under the green side rail. You pick up the handle. You have 50 pounds. The rest of it stays behind. So that's kind of how it started and what it evolved to. And originally, primarily, it was invented to give the home user the ability to have racks of dumbbells at home without the inherent cost or space of literally having racks of dumbbells. At that time, the gyms or commercial scenarios weren't they weren't what they were trying to accomplish. They were doing this for home because, in some gym settings, you need to have, you've got 100 people working out at the same time, you need to have racks of dumbbells, traditional dumbbells. At home, most people can't do that, can't afford it, don't have the space. And then as the home models came about, more models, more weight ranges, more series. We literally have 3 home series and then a 4th series of the commercial, and different coatings on them and colors and such. So it's evolved into that. And then commercially, we kind of started out commercially primarily doing military, like Navy cutters and ships and submarines. And then as the sports-specific training facilities came about and the workstations thing, came about, we really kind of blossomed then on the commercial side also. So originally we started out doing this for home, and so that's a little of an idea of kind of the thought processes going into it.
I want to ask you a question about customer feedback and how that really positively impacts your business, your products, even your design. I mean, if anybody goes to the website there, powerblock.com, and they notice, or even if they're maybe familiar with the Power Block themselves, they actually now have a kettle block, which I was not aware of. And I'm just kind of curious to know how that kind of evolved. I mean, how do you take concept A and turn it into concept B and just kind of add to your business plan?
The kettle block specifically is it's a selectorized kettlebell. And it's the same concept as the Power Block with the dumbbell. It's basically a weight stack of nested weights and a handle, and you choose the weight within the weight range of the kettle block or dumbbell, and then that's how much weight you have when you pick up the handle. And so the kettle block, our adjustable kettlebell, came about kind of as a similar working, functioning product as the Power Block dumbbells, but as the kettlebell kind of movement became popular, there was all of a sudden there was a need for it would be a little bit smaller scale than having a racks of dumbbells, but again, you would go into facilities and you would see, rows of kettlebells, and then, the light bulb went on there. That was kind of a no-brainer then, why don't we do an adjustable kettlebell too? To answer, the first part of your question as to customer feedback, that reminds me of a story. We had dumbbells going up to 130 pounds per hand. And that's a lot of weight. And one of the strength coaches from the Carolina Panthers, they had sets of ours, and he says, "God, is there any way you can make these things heavier? We'd like to have more weight." And so we designed kind of a set on steroids that was. It had a weight range of 10 to 175 pounds per hand. And originally we designed that for pro football teams and thought, nobody else can want it. And then we ended up making a home model of it. We took a model of it to the Arnold Classic show that we do every year, a consumer trade show with, everything from just everything fitness is at that show, and found out that actually some home people, of the super fitness enthusiasts wanted some heavier weights too. But that's just an example of an idea where we got an idea from a consumer, in this particular case, pro football team, to do a product that essentially we made for them, and then it caught on. Now that the sets that heavy at 175 are just available commercially, but a lot of D1 schools and a lot of pro teams use the heavier weights. So that there's an example of something that feedback actually created another SKU for us.
When I first saw the Power Blocks, I was kind of curious to know with the selectorizer and the way it was set up, if you could do overhead movements and again, the momentum-based exercises, whether they're one-handed snatch and those types of things. I mean, are there safety features built into the design of both the kettle block and the power block systems?
Definitely, yeah. There's redundant safety features all the way through all of the models of dumbbells and the different models of the kettle blocks as well. As an example, the selector pins that we use are rated for hundreds and hundreds of pounds. So the selector pins have weight ratings much higher than, double or triple the weight stack weight that they are being used in. And then if you look sideways at a dumbbell, you'll notice it's towed in at a 3-degree angle. The handle is at a right angle, opposing that. And so when you have, say you're doing a shoulder press or a bench press, the whole weight stack is supported by the whole handle. It's not, it's like on the top of the handle when you put it into the weight stack, there's a little lip on top, and that is not supporting any of the weight. That is just simply to center the handle where it needs to be in the weight stack. So the angling of the weight plates opposing the handle angle is a safety feature. The selector pin itself has first magnet. It's magnetized heavily with rare earth magnets, and that is the first line of defense. Every selector pin has a tether cord on it. A selector pin weighs about 8 ounces. There's a pound of force required to remove the selector pin from the weight stack because of the tether cord. And so, for example, if I literally took and pulled the selector pin halfway out, going past first line of defense, the magnetization of it, and I held it out, say at arm's length to my side with the selector pin pointing towards the ground, the selector pin still can't come out because of the tether cord. So that's a secondary safety feature. If I then took the dumbbell and put it in what we would call maybe a dangerous or precarious position of being over my head or face, for example, doing a shoulder press overhead or a bench press, I literally could take the selector pin and pull it all the way out, and the weight plates won't come down because of how they are on the handle. They can only come down when they're pointed towards the ground. So, and obviously there's no way for that particular failure to happen. Somebody literally would have to pull it out, but that just goes to show that there are triple redundant safety features built into the product. So a lot of thought's gone into it. And right now we're at approximately 30 patents on the product also.
The first time we did this show, you and I were talking afterwards, and one of the things that kind of struck me that I really wish we would have added into, and now we are fortunate to add into the conversation, is for the individuals that are trying to grow a business, and maybe they have a tighter budget, or maybe they don't have the biggest space as they would like, they can actually purchase one of the smaller power block designs and then add on to it as their clientele grows and the strength of their clients grows, or maybe even the reach of who they're working with or the exercise selection they want to use with the power block. I mean, can you do me a favor and walk me through that process? Because I think it's a really cool opportunity that people need to know about. They can actually purchase a certain product within your line there, and I don't remember if it was the commercial one or the home use one, and then they can walk themselves through that process of actually just adding to the system as they grow.
It's a neat and unique feature of the power block in the realm of adjustable dumbbells in that they're scalable, or some of the models are scalable. And so as an example, in our urethane series for home use, we have what's called a U90 set that you can buy a U90 Stage 1 set, which has a weight range of 5 to 50 pounds per hand. And then 6 months from now, a year from now, you can increase it in weight by 20 pounds per hand with an add-on kit and make it a 5 to 70 pound per hand set. And then later on, you can expand that 70-pound set to 90 pounds per hand with an additional expansion kit. And then that can actually further be expanded from that 90 pounds to 125 pounds per hand with another expansion kit. So So they have the ability to be, highly scalable, and it creates a situation where as a consumer, you might not know how, maybe you used to lift weights and now you're going to get back into it, but you're not sure how heavy you want to go and or how much you're going to get into lifting weights if you never have. And so it gives you the ability to not buy more weight than you need up front, and allows you to, for the dumbbells to be scalable and increase the weight as your need for more weight grows in your workout. So that's a neat feature.
You touched on the concept of Facebook being one of the social media opportunities here for us. So how has social media impacted your business? Is it important to have a presence on the web? Do you guys look and hope to have guys, or male or female, doesn't make a difference to me, sharing pictures or writing testimonials or reaching out to you guys, giving you feedback or even just showing how they're using it? How does that really impact the overall experience as far as working for Power Block and then also providing an outstanding service to the fitness industry?
The social media certainly has grown and looks like it's, of course, here to stay, and it's just going to continue to grow. Starting out, when we started out, we've had a website, of course, for years and years, but now we've got Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and YouTube also wired into our website. And nowadays for a business, it's an integral part of your business. More and more the social medias are evolving into being more than just social and having to do with business too. A recent example that I can think of is our customer service department has spoke with me recently in the greater increase of Facebook questions and customer service things. People want to know how to use things, how they can get things, how would they get a spare part, how could they, the interaction has increased greatly in social media as a part of the business, as opposed to just going to the the website and having all your answers done there. As we age, me being old, mentioned my birthday today, I'm not a big social media guy personally, but I see the younger, the kids growing up nowadays, college kids and such. The social media, they're growing up in the social media era where, computers were even crazy, for us, but, they're all born with a computer now, and the social media, they're growing up into that. So they use that, a lot more than we do. So as you see the different customer age demographics change when they get, once you get below 30, the social media is one of the bigger ways that they are. They grew up that way. That's how they communicate nowadays. So any business has to evolve with you have to roll with the changes, and so it's definitely become a lot more part of a business. And if a business was starting nowadays, it's a given. You're going to have your website, but you're going to have the different social medias also. They're part and parcel nowadays.
I want to talk about two words, authentic and honesty. And I get a chance to go to a lot of conferences, a lot of events, whether they're small or large. And I do take a very good opportunity to walk around the exhibitor area where there are vendors there. And I really make time to walk in, shake hands, get to know people. And I'm really rating them on not even their equipment or their branding or that type of thing, but I want to hear how the owner or the salesman, how authentic they are and how relatable they are to the individuals walking up to them, including myself, and how honest they're going to be about the pros and cons, or maybe the ups and downs of having their product in a specific facility. I mean, do me a favor and walk me through how important is that initial relationship building opportunity at most of the time, conferences, events, through email, and making sure that you're authentic and honest when you're developing a sincere, basically a family kind of owned business or small business or even a larger conglomerate where people could just kind of get pushed to the side because there's so many things going on. I mean, how important is being authentic and honest in your business approach as an individual and also as a business, as a business advice kind of situation?
It's very important. You not only want to do business today and next week and next year. You know, when we started in '91, you know, who knew then how far this was going to go, and how we would have continued to grow for all these years. You want to be here 20 years from now, and then you want to be here, you know, 20 more years than that. So you have to be honest with the people that you deal with, and you know, if you don't have that honesty in your relationships and your product abilities, you know, you don't have anything. So I would say that's not only critical in business, but you know, in a business relationship, but you know, that's critical in life. I mean, that's critical in personal relationships too. Yeah, I think it's very important.
Well, Jamie, I know we've got tons of opportunities to go back and forth on email and have a couple conversations. Again, I appreciate the opportunity the first time around here and again, making time to get this right. Happy birthday to you, my man. It's been a really cool opportunity to get a chance to learn more, not only about your product, that's the easy part, but developing a relationship with an individual and getting a chance to talk is something I strongly will suggest to people who are listening to this show. I mean, when you get a chance to meet some of these guys, whether they're vendors, whether they're presenters, whether they're attendees at events, whether there's somebody here on a show like this, do yourself a favor and expand your network. Reach out to these individuals through email, connect with them on social media. I mean, if they got something good going, you want to find out how to really help your program, whether you're a football guy, whether you're working in the private sector or boot camps, I don't care, man. If we're all here to help people move and really make a positive impact on other people's lives, and we got to really, in my opinion, reach out to others and just learn what has worked for them. I mean, if you need two questions, kind of initiate a conversation through email or just walking up to somebody, what do you know now that you wish you knew then, and what has worked for you? And if you're using those two questions, I think you're going to be just shocked at the amount of information that the individuals that will give you back and the opportunity that you get from just listening and learning and asking better questions. So, Jay, again, man, it's been awesome to get the opportunity, a chance to learn more about the business, obviously, through you guys and the products and just this whole concept here, because I didn't know much about it, to be honest. Again, we talked about it off air before. I didn't know you could pick the power block even over your head, and I felt like I was even silly asking that question. So just be able to go through some of those questions and really see that there's some more versatility to the equipment that you guys are providing really kind of opens my eyes to a lot of different opportunities through your product line. So if anybody's listening to the show and they wanted to maybe follow up with you with any type of questions or find out more information about products or anything going on, where you're going to be at as far as conferences, events, and just get an opportunity to network with you guys and shake hands, I mean, how could they go about connecting with you?
Well, our website is powerblock.com, and my email is jay, which is Jay, @powerblock.com. And so pretty easy to get a hold of that way. I do travel a bit, but, you know, take the smartphone with, so email is always available, and, you know, happy to, you know, to chat with anybody in the industry. Pleasure being with you today, Coach. Great advice, too, on asking questions like that. There is so much knowledge at the different shows. This weekend, for example, I'll be going to a show in Texas, and it's a pretty big show. It's a Texas High School Coaches Association show for all sports. And a show like that, you know, has all kinds of different vendors, you know, in you know, just a dream for a coach or a strength coach or training facility or school to be at a show like that with the, you know, diversity of products and knowledge that will be there. And that's a great idea, asking those questions. I mean, there's so much you could learn from going to a show like that from the different vendors, and some of the different vendors, literally are experts not only in their product but in the field, and there's a lot of knowledge that they have to share, and so you can get a lot of free advice there, and that's a great idea. So a pleasure being here today, Coach, and looking forward to working with you in the future.
Again, Jay, thank you very much for the opportunity, my man. I appreciate your time. Happy birthday for the final time, and hopefully this is the launching pad for us to do many more things down the road. And I'm looking forward to hearing big things coming from you and the Power Blocks organization as a whole, my man.
Thanks, Coach. Have a great week.